And welcome back to another episode of Words Mean Things. This is the Valentine's Day edition. So if you're listening today and you're on February 14th, happy Valentine's Day. If it's later, well, we hope you had a happy Valentine's Day. I'm Mr. Heath.
And I'm Steven.
And this is Words Mean Things, where we take the word of the week at Great Bend High School and we talk about it.
The word of the week this week is courtesy.
Courtesy. Yep. So, Steven, you've done a little bit of work on this. Tell us, what is your impression of the word courtesy?
Well, there's two forms of the word courtesy. There's a courtesy, a noun, which is something you just do out of politeness. And courtesy can also be used to describe an act, like you're doing an act out of courtesy.
Ah, so both are nouns.
Yes.
They're things, but the one of them is a sort of a collective noun that this is a courtesy, and the other one is more of a...
One's more of an idea.
An idea, like a means of
Yes.
doing something through courtesy. Good. And there's another form of this word that we don't think about very often, and I'm going to use the Flintstones as an example. For those of you who are familiar with the Flintstones, there is a line in the Flintstones theme song that says, "Let's ride with the family down the street through the courtesy of Fred's 2 feet."
What does that mean? What's the context?
And so the context of that is courtesy can be used as a preposition, and it's like a compound preposition, courtesy of. So and I think there's an understood word by in there, by the courtesy of.
Got it.
And so we don't say the by anymore, but I think originally they probably did. But
Like you're
courtesy of just means through or by the agency of, and often it means something that you normally would have to pay for, but somebody is doing it as a courtesy to you. They're giving it to you for free. So if you went to a restaurant and the manager said, "We'll give them a free appetizer," the waiter might bring it and say, "I bring you this appetizer courtesy of the management."
I see.
And so it's then a preposition by the courtesy of.
Okay, I didn't know that. See, I think I've heard it used like that before, but I never really connected the dots because, like, in a horror novel where there's, like, some ransom note right at the end, courtesy of or sincerely of the bad guys. Mm-hmm. And that's probably the most common place I've seen that version of courtesy used before.
Right. So courtesy often has, and I think in the modern lexicon, has taken on kind of a negative feeling that if somebody is...
it feels passive-aggressive.
Right. They just did it as a courtesy.
Yeah.
You know, somebody says, "Oh, you look really nice." Well, they didn't mean you look really nice. They were just being polite. And so I think that our modern way we talk, a lot of times courtesy is taken almost in a negative way as not being sincere.
How we view it, it's something that expected rather than something that is earned.
Exactly. So I think the goal here for all of us ought to be to try to be courteous, but try to mean it.
Yeah,
I mean,
be genuine with your courtesy.
I'm not just saying have a good day. I genuinely hope that your day is good.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can all do that. But being courteous is can be equated to just being kind, being polite, being somebody who wants other people to have a day that's better rather than worse. And if we could all just extend a little bit of courtesy, imagine if the people you interacted with on a daily basis were courteous to you.
Yeah.
It would make you feel better.
And on the other side of the equation, when someone's just being courteous out of necessity and they're hiding their negative feelings towards you, that feels bad.
Yeah, it does. And I think a lot of that is then done in the way that it's done. Well,
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
And I think that's not courteous.
People only say excuse me like that when you do something and they're like, ugh, excuse me.
Yeah. I think courtesy is one of those things that's old-fashioned but ought to come back.
Yeah.
Like hats. People ought to wear more hats. Like a bowler hat. Why can't we have those come back?
Well, See, hats, especially like fedoras, which are nice looking hats, they got kind of ruined by the internet.
Yeah, they did, but
Yeah.
but it's too bad. I wish hats would come back.
Just like with words, items of clothing or just things you do can get connotations.
Right.
Which is just saying it gets a certain vibe associated to it.
Right, and you would be amazed if you could just be courteous
Yeah.
and do it sincerely.
Students, especially, because you're teenagers. and
Right, you
all
don't
those-
understand kids. Teachers deal with lots and lots of kids all day, and the ones who are courteous, the ones who show basic manners and politeness, get what we call benefit of the doubt points. It's
Yeah.
not anything tangible. It's not like they go in their grade book and go, okay, you get 5 points because you were nice. But if a teacher has to make a decision between, do I fudge this up to an 89.5 or do I let this be an 88.7, whether you were courteous or not can influence that.
Yeah, they'll be more lenient.
I think that's very true. And the same works with the police. The same works with anybody.
friends.
Your friends. People that are in a position of authority, I don't think you should be courteous because it means you're subservient. I think you should be courteous to everyone.
Yeah.
Particularly people who you have a position of power over.
Yeah. When you're being courteous to people and it isn't reciprocated, like they aren't returning the same niceties you're giving them, it can feel horrible.
It can indeed.
And
Yeah.
But like the thing is, you got to keep going on because like 4 failures feels a lot bigger than 4 individual failures.
Truth.
So if you just keep pushing on, eventually you'll get one win, and with all those stacked failures that just seem to exponentially pile onto themselves. Once you find someone who's courteous to you, it'll feel awesome.
It does. It does indeed. And being courteous can have rewards if it's sincere. Don't Eddie Haskell it, and you can look that up if you want to see what that means.
Be straight up with
be
people.
straight up with people, but try to be nice.
Yeah.
Just try. And that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, you've been listening to Words Mean Things, the weekly show where we talk about the word of the week at Great Bend High School. I'm Mr. Heath,
And I'm Steven.
and we will talk to you next week. Hope you had a great Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.
See ya.